ranking every LMG in Phantom Forces. Before we get started, let's see if we can get 100 subscribers and 600 likes this video. And also be sure to comment your favorite LMG in the game, because I'm actually pretty curious. Also join the Discord server and become a channel member. This list today is actually from worst to best, so be sure to stay tuned until the end to see what the best LMG is. For the worst LMG, we have the MGV 176. This thing has like super low damage. It's like 12 and 11. But the only thing that this really has going for it is that it's super low recoil and super high fire rate, which is why it has low damage. But I'll just pretty much show you guys right quick. That's what the recoil looks like. But as you can see, that guy way over there hit him like 6 times and he's just not dead. I mean, yeah, see, I mean, this thing, I feel like this is a fun LMG. It's not supposed to be good. It's just supposed to be like a fun thing to toy around with. Kind of like the PP Bison in a way. But yeah, you pretty much have to hit your target like 7 or 8 times. So if they're moving around a ton, you're not going to kill them. Okay, wait, I'm actually going hard. Never mind. I get BFG 50. Next, we have the MG42, which in terms of damage, this thing isn't bad. I think it's like a 3-shot to 4-shot, something like that. Now, granted, its 3-shot range is actually pretty small, but the main thing that this is a problem. The main problem that this thing has is I can't even show you, dude. Oh my god. Yeah, here, I'll just show you guys. This is what the recoil looks like. As you can see, yeah, good luck controlling this thing past like 20 studs. I mean, like if there was a guy way back there, I wouldn't even be able to kill him. I think you could probably use alt aim for it to be a little more controllable, but I mean, yeah, good luck. Next is the MG3KWS, which this thing's basically like the MG42, but slightly more controllable and also less damage. I think this thing's like a 3-shot to 5-shot. So in terms of damage, that's actually not terrible, but compared to a bunch of other LMGs on the list, this thing's just pretty much, it's obsolete. Okay, but even with it being slightly more accurate than the MG42, that doesn't really say much. I mean, the accuracy for this thing is still kind of hard to control in my opinion. Yeah, let me see if I can even kill that guy way back there. Yeah, as you can see, it's pretty hard. I pretty much spent all like 50 rounds trying to kill that guy. A couple of guys over here. I might actually try to get some kills here. There we go, got one, and then all of a sudden have to reload again. And also for how fast this thing fires, the reload time kind of sucks, especially if you use an entire magazine trying to kill somebody. I just think this gun, it's not very good. I might also add that this is rank 101, so right before this, you actually unlock the Chris Vector, which is at the moment one of the best guns in the game, so there's really no reason to use this. Next up is an unfortunate placing on this list, but we have the AUG H bar. This thing has actually fallen from grace a lot. Now, the thing about this gun is that it has pretty low recoil. It's very accurate, but the fire rate is a little more sluggish at 750. Well, 750 is not too bad, but there's definitely some faster LMGs out there. But the damage actually isn't too great. I think it's like 4-shot to 5-shot. Let me double check. Actually, let me kill all these guys first. Yep, easy double. Never mind. Yeah, it's 4-shot to 5-shot, 31 to 23. And I mean, for the recoil this thing has, for the fire rate and everything like that, this thing should probably have higher damage. It should at least be a 3-shot at close range, but it's not. And I don't really think you can change it much with the armor piercing either. I don't think the armor piercing changes the damage at all. So that's why this thing's pretty low on the list. Next up, we have the MG36, which this thing's basically just a direct upgrade to the AUG H bar in the sense that it's also 4-shot to 5-shot. Now, granted, I think the damage ranges are kind of worse, but it makes up for it in a way with the 100-round magazine. What did I just spawn into? Oh my god, bro, I can't with this game. Yeah, there's enemies all over our spawn. Why are you back there, buddy? I also think this gun's probably a little less accurate than the AUG H bar, but the accuracy overall isn't too terrible on this thing. Get that guy. There we go. Yeah, I think this gun's alright. I think there's definitely better options out there, but there's also definitely some worse options out there. It's just all around a pretty mid gun. Hey, look, they're voting for Metro after the game ended. I don't have to switch servers. Next up, we have the RPK-74, which compared to the MG36 and the AUG H bar, this thing's actually a lot better because I think it's also lower recoil than both those guns, as you can tell. And it also has a 3-shot potential at close range, which I really like a lot compared to the other 2 previous guns before this. I also feel like this gun's a lot more mobile than the previous 2. I feel like I can move around a lot better than I could with those other ones. There we go, get that guy. But this is a very accurate gun. Its long-range performance is kind of mid, but overall, I feel like there's definitely worse options. I feel like this gun actually isn't that bad. It also has super armor piercing, which I'm not sure if that's really worth it, but that's a cool little gimmick if you wanted to try that out. Yeah, with that on, it has 1.68 stud penetration depth, so that's pretty cool. I will be fair though, its fire rate is pretty slow at like 600, but still, the damage kind of makes up for it in this way. Next up, we have the Colt LMG, which is like the RPK-74 in a way, but slightly less accurate. Now, to be fair, this thing actually is still pretty accurate as is, but it's slightly less accurate than the RPK-74. But this also has 60 rounds in a magazine compared to the RPK-74's 45. And it also has 700 fire rate, which is 100 extra than the RPK-74. And this also has the added benefit of being the starter LMG, so you can actually start out with this LMG, and it's actually a pretty decent weapon for starters. In my opinion, this is actually the best starting weapon in terms of automatics, except for, I don't know, maybe the MP5K is a good runner-up. But the main thing that I like about this is with the alt aim, you can actually pretty much run this gun with no attachments, just straight out of the gate, and do pretty... Okay, I'll take it. Yeah, I was saying you could pretty much run this thing right out of the gate with only alt aim and actually do pretty good, especially if you have no other guns unlocked. And it's a very aggressive gun that I like to use sometimes. So, I mean, hey, if you're like a low rank, like a rank 0 to 5, definitely go ahead and give this thing a try. I think it's worth it. I'm actually going kind of hard right now. I'm on a pretty big streak. Yeah, I'm on a 8 streak. 2 more until I get 10. There's 9. There we go, there's 10. Let's go. I died right after it. How convenient. I've been recognized again. Next up, we have the RPK-12, which you might be wondering why I placed this above the Colt LMG. But it's only because of one reason. It's because of the 7.62 conversion, or the 7.62, however you say it. This is actually 3-shot to 4-shot with 40 rounds, and it's actually super accurate with also 700 fire rate, which is pretty nice. And I'll just show you guys what that looks like. Yeah, there you go. It's pretty accurate. It's pretty good damage, pretty good fire rate, pretty good everything. I mean, it's not bad at all. Now, there are some better options which you might want to stay tuned for, because some of these guns actually get pretty insane. The LMGs, I'm not gonna lie, are pretty insane right now. I'm just gonna go around here, see if I could find somebody. See some people on my radar up here. Hello. How dare you? Bro just stole my kill. All right, so I know this is going to be kind of off topic, but so I went in for an interview during my radio class, because apparently my classmates found out about my YouTube channel, and someone wanted to give me an interview about it, and they had no idea that I played Phantom Forces. They just knew that I played Roblox. So I went in there, and he was like, yeah, Roblox is a platform of games, as you know. What like Roblox games do you play on your YouTube channel? And I was like, oh, I play this game called Phantom Forces. And then all of a sudden, like, he got this, like, little look on his face, and he, like, covered his mouth. Because apparently he had played Phantom Forces before. I thought that was just a funny coincidence. Like, this guy that was giving me my interview, my classmate, he had played Phantom Forces before. I don't know. Anyway, let's move on to the next gun. Next, we have the best gun in the game, the LED6 LSW. I'm just kidding. In terms of statistics, it's not the best gun in the game, but it's my favorite gun in the game. Yeah. This thing is a 4-shot kill all ranges with the armor piercing, of course. It has very low recoil, pretty slow fire rate, but I feel like overall it's pretty good. As you can see, it's pretty much a laser beam. I think, if I'm not mistaken, does the 223? No, what? Yeah. If you have 223, that makes it a drum mag, which then it's like a 4-shot to 5-shot, which I don't really like personally. I think the armor piercing is just a better option here, so you have better damages, and you can 4-shot torso at long range. But this thing, it's kind of back to its former glory, almost. Now, not like it used to be, like way back in the day when it used to shake everybody's screen. It used to have like such high muzzle velocity that it sounded like there was an automatic sniper shooting at you. That's how bad it was. Now, maybe it was a little too OP back then, but I think right now it's very good, and I think it's definitely worth a try. It also has like 2-stud penetration depth with armor piercing on, which I like that as well, because you can shoot through a lot of walls. So this would actually be pretty good on like a warehouse. There we go. Let's go. So if you have this gun, I definitely recommend giving it a try, and also use the Dreamscape skin on this, which is what I have right now. And then you can get the Fantix LSW. I think that's what I'm going to call this thing. I'm going to call this the Fantix LSW. Next up, we have the HK21E, which this thing's actually a 3-shot to 4-shot, so you get 3-shot at close range, but that's with armor piercing. But this thing has 100 rounds in a magazine, and it's actually pretty, well, it's somewhat accurate. Probably not as accurate as the LED6, for example, but I think it kind of makes up for it with the higher fire rate and a lower recoil. Yeah, let's get that guy back there. Let's go. It does have a pretty slow reload time, which I don't like that much, but overall, I think this thing's pretty good. It's good for close range. It's pretty good for longer range. I wouldn't be like cross-mapping somebody with this, but for like medium range is pretty good with this thing. And its 3-shot is about to, it's close to 50 studs, but it's more like 48 studs this thing can 3-shot to. So, and it also has the same penetration depth as the LED6 with armor piercing on, which is interesting. But yeah, this is almost like a direct upgrade to the LED6 in a way, except for maybe like walk speed and like just the overall speediness of this thing's probably not quite as good. But in terms of damage, this thing is a pretty nice upgrade. Next up, we have the Stoner 96, which on paper you would wonder why I put this thing above the HK21E. And that's mostly because the fire rate on this thing, well, with it being slow and with the damage being kind of low in terms of close range compared to the HK21E, this thing's a 4-shot kill at all ranges, but the recoil on this thing is absolutely insane, which is why I like this thing a lot better than most other LMGs, which is why it's so high up. But I'll show you guys what the recoil looks like. Yeah, that's the recoil pattern. It's pretty much just a dot. So I've, in multiple instances, cross-mapped somebody with this thing, and it's just crazy. Like, you could honestly probably use this thing on Mirage and be able to kill somebody at long range, I'm not gonna lie. Like, that guy right there, gone. Recoil's not even a problem. I didn't adjust for recoil at all. I could probably sit up here and kill people in that window over there. Yep, see? I mean, it's just an absolute beam. Probably one of the lowest recoil guns in the game, I'm not gonna lie. The only problem is that it is a very high rank. It's almost rank 200, which, yes, I pre-bought this thing. I pre-bought every gun in the game. But yeah, it has a penetration depth of 1.2 studs, which is okay. I wouldn't personally recommend the armor piercing on this because that ruins stuff. I don't know. I don't know. Let me actually check that real quick. Actually, no, armor piercing would probably be worth it because it's still 4-shot kill at all ranges. I don't know. Try it out and see what you think. Next, we have the Hammer IR, which is actually a 3-shot to 4-shot, and it also has pretty low recoil. I think it's probably a little less accurate than the Stoner 96, but it's still very accurate. The only thing I don't like about this is the ramp up mechanic. I think it starts at like 580 or something like that. Yeah, it ramps up to 750. It starts at 594, so keep that in mind. Which the muzzle booster will help a little bit with the ramp up mechanic, so I would actually recommend muzzle booster instead of like T-brake or ARS suppressor on this thing. But yeah, it's a 3-shot to the torso at close range and 4-shot to the torso at long range. And overall, this thing's pretty good, but not quite as good as it was back when it got changed initially. But still, it's pretty decent, especially compared to most LMGs on this list. Just let me kill the entire enemy team here real quick. I don't even care about the flag. I don't play objective. I just care about kills. Next up is the Chainsaw, which is also a 3-shot to 4-shot, but the only difference is that this is pretty much a direct upgrade in every single way. It starts at 600 fire rate, which is pretty much what the Hammer starts at, except, I mean, there's no ramp-up mechanic on this, so there's that. And it's also more accurate than the Hammer, in my opinion. The only main problem that I have with this is that you can't put an optic on it. That's actually pretty much the only downside this thing has, I'm not gonna lie. Which is why a lot of people don't use this thing, because, you know, they like their optics. But in my opinion, I don't really think you need an optic on most guns, especially if there's like alt-aim like this. Like most LMGs you can actually use without an optic. In fact, you could actually probably put on a custom cursor if you wanted to. Just like put a little dot at the center of your screen so you know where you're aiming at. That's also possible. I'm not sure if you're allowed to do that, so... Like, I don't know if that's actually, like, a thing that StyLiS doesn't want you to do, but this thing is super good. One thing that I also don't like is that even though it does have it has 200 rounds in a magazine, yeah, but it has 200 reserves, so you can pretty much only get, like, 1 reload, and then boom, you're out of ammo. So that's one thing to keep in mind. Its penetration depth is also kind of mid compared to most other LMGs at 1.2 studs, so that's another thing. But yeah, overall, if you have this thing, I definitely recommend checking out, which you probably don't. It's ranked 226 56. But yeah, now we're getting into the beefy guns. This is the M60. This thing is actually a 3-shot kill at all ranges to the torso. So yes, you can actually 3-shot kill at long range with this thing. Now, to be honest, it's not as accurate as some of the other LMGs, but it's not terrible. There we go. Get rid of that guy. Goodbye. Hold on. Oh, this thing has a ramp down mechanic. I didn't know that. So it starts at 650 and it ramps down to 500. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. Wow. But regardless, though, even with the ramp down mechanic, this thing is super OP. Can you stop shooting at me? Just, yeah, 3-shot all ranges is pretty unfair. Yeah, you have to have the armor piercing on for that, though, to be honest, but it's just insane. Next up, we have the M1918A2, which this thing is actually super, super good. It's a 2-shot up to around 65 studs, which is actually crazy. And not to mention, it's actually a 3-hit kill at long range to the torso. So after about 150 studs, you can 3-shot kill anywhere if you're hitting the torso. And overall, this is actually a very good gun. In fact, I'm probably going to make a video about this. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And for the best LMG in the game, we have the RPK. The reason this is the best gun in the game is because, like the M60, it's 3-shot all ranges with the torso multiplier added on. But it's actually a lot more accurate than the M60. There's no ramp down mechanic. And it's actually a lot speedier than the M60 as well. Here's what the recoil looks like. It's a little funky. I don't know how to describe the recoil. It's like a little weird, but it's actually not that bad. It's at least a lot more accurate than 3-shot kill all ranges should be, in my opinion. Let me get that guy there. Yeah, you can also put the Romanian grip on this thing, which is actually really nice. The Romanian grip's one of the best grips in the game if you have it on some guns. And this gun's overall just absolutely crazy. And it's also pretty low rank too. I think it's like rank, what is it, 42? Let me check. No, 54. Yeah, it's rank 54. So most of you guys probably already have this thing. So definitely go ahead and start using this thing, or at least grinding it out for some attachments. And trust me, it's absolutely OP. I would definitely recommend using this thing if you have it. There's a guy way over there. See, I can kill that guy way over there. I think that's the entire list, so be sure to drop a like and subscribe. Let's see if we can get 100 subscribers and 600 likes on this video. Join the Discord server, become a channel member, and I will see you guys on the next one.